And meanwhile, a Saudi government-owned TV channel mocked U.S. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Take a look at that.
Thank you very much. Today, we're going to talk about the crisis in Spain. Yeah, we're going to talk about the crisis in Africa. Yeah, Russia. And I want to talk about the president of Russia, Putin. Putin, listen to me. I have a very important message to you. The message is...
Yeah, this is not SNL. This is Saudi TV. Owen Alterman is here in the studio.
Skit, huh?
Not bad. You can see this every week on SNL.
You know, I don't know when it ran, but you imagine people eating their iftar in Saudi Arabia, sitting there in the living room with their family, turning on the Ramadan TV, seeing something like that. Nice work.
Americans will not get excited over this. As we said, every week SNL does much more than that.
But to mention
what does it tell us
Israel to our politicians? Of course.
Right. What does it tell you about the Saudis?
Well, listen, I don't know that there's some deeper policy message here to Joe Biden. I would imagine that this is, or hope that this is just art. I guess what I would say is that this shows a country that, according to Mohammed bin Salman's vision, obviously a very, very controversial ruler, Jacob, but we know how much he wants to see this country become modernized and cater to its younger generations. And something a little bit edgy like this, I would think, again, with some humility, sitting outside Saudi Arabia, I would imagine fits with that kind of vision. And maybe this is something that wouldn't have been on Saudi TV 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Maybe there would have been a more staid television menu, again, with those iftar meals during Ramadan. But maybe this says something about the direction he wants to take the country subtly. Is it a message to needle Joe Biden? Maybe. If it was, I'm not sure it was the best strategy for the Saudi government. Again, their relations with Washington are a bit fragile, but maybe it says something about the culture of the country and the direction in which those who are sitting at the top want to take it. At least some of those.
You know when I'll be more convinced about the direction? When they have satire on the regime.
Absolutely.
Right. When will that happen?
Absolutely. Yeah, that may be a bridge too far at this point. Absolutely. But you're right. Of the like that you see in the United States with Saturday Night Live with SNL, the like you see here in Israel with the very successful and culturally dominant Eretz Nehederet show that does much the same. And obviously this, you're right. But absolutely a question of when will there be enough confidence to actually allow satire against the government itself.
Right. You know, when it's the other way around, sometimes, certain countries cannot take humor from other countries, especially if they are not used to this. And we had these cases in the Middle East where within Israel and Turkey, Erdogan got offended and Egypt got offended because of Israeli television, but nobody can say anything to Israeli television. So it's a cultural thing as well.
Sure, and even within any society, in any satire show, there are sacred cows, if you will. The late Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, the leader of the ultra-Orthodox, or at least a large part of the ultra-Orthodox sector in Israel, was lampooned on the Eretz Nehederet satire show. It was fair game. He was a public figure, but was not well received in those circles, and that show decided to back down. But you're right. The question is, when will there be the kind of confidence and freedom and openness to allow art to be directed at the regime itself? One wonders how Mohammed bin Salman would answer that question. Is it something he would be too nervous and skittish about? Or would he see this as another step in a much longer, much more gradual process in which, again, the country becomes more modernized, in certain ways more open, and maybe that's something that we'll see 10, 20 years from now?